The SEC has a civil war brewing. Is your Cardano under attack? And finally, there is some serious moves happening with Gary Gensler, and also huge moves. Is the Paxos PayPal stablecoin dead? Let's go around the blockchain. All right, it's going to be a great episode. We got some great guests. It's our Friday lineup. Let's go ahead and just get right into it. On the top right, one of the best crooners in the space. It is Piano Matty B. Piano Matty B, how are things going north of the border?
Oh, fantastic. We're a balmy minus 16 today. So it's shirts off, shorts, Winnipeg, Canada.
I heard every like will increase his temperature 0.1 Celsius. So make sure you go ahead, hit that like button. We got to warm up Piano Matty B. On the bottom right, we have Hotep Jesus on. Hotep, how are you doing today?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
What's up, man?
Man, it's always great to have you on. And also back from the book tour, it is AJ Pleasanton. I heard you got to see your favorite place on earth, Algorand office. How was that?
It was something else. We totally weren't supposed to be there, and hopefully we don't catch a B&E charge, but it was a great day. Great day.
Hey, you had to ask about those relay nodes. I don't blame you. And then we have Cowboys of Crypto. Looks like you got a fresh cut. Cowboys, how are you doing today?
Feeling good, moving and grooving, and ready to start the show.
Moving and grooving. I love it. Let's groove right into the Gensler Casino. And we are going to talk about this potential civil war brewing within the SEC right now. But Gensler, he's responded to allegations. Hey, you're making it too complex. You're not giving us clarity. You're telling us you got a speeding ticket, but you don't give us a speed limit here. Are we supposed to go 55? And this was with the interview on CNBC's Squawk Box. We actually have a video. Let's just go ahead and roll. It's about 30 seconds here.
What happened here? Tell it to me like I'm 5. What was Kraken doing, and what was the problem that you were trying to solve?
Andrew, what Kraken was doing was asking the American public for their coins and saying, I'll give you a return, 4% to 21% returns. And the problem was they were not disclosing to the investing public the risks that the investing public was entering into. And we have a basic bargain in the United States since the 1930s. You can take whatever risks you want. Companies like Kraken can offer investment contracts and investment schemes, but they have to have full, fair, and truthful disclosure. And this puts the investors who watch your program in a better position. That's our basic bargain. They were not complying with that basic law.
All right. Well, Hotep, he spelled it out very clearly. He's doing this to protect the consumer. Do you think that the main motivation is to protect the consumer, or is it possible there's an ulterior motive here?
Well, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And good intentions are sometimes a mask for your true intentions, where somebody pretends to be altruist. We saw that with Sam Bankman-Fried, and then turns out there is a potential for fraud. So it could be, saying, even this is the same argument that Alexander Hamilton made when he wanted to push for a central bank. We got to protect the public. His arguments were against George Jefferson.
Yeah, they're moving on up, and it was too fast, too quick. They say, "Hey, you gotta bring it down." But yeah, his ancestor Tommy.
Yeah, yeah, Thomas Jefferson. Thank you. So this is the argument they were having back and forth. I think that to be fair, you have to allow people to lose money to learn, and allow the market to dictate it based upon how people lose money and how people win money. Is there a full disclosure when you go to Las Vegas and you throw your chips on the table? Like, I don't remember signing a release form when I'm throwing my chips on the table playing blackjack or whatever. That stuff is sort of implied, like you should just know it. What I think here is the theme throughout this broadcast is just a matter of gangsterism. You're on my territory. These are my constituents, my investors. I created this scheme. I created this game. So therefore, I get to make the rules, and I get to change the rules at a whim. And this is a battle of the Constitution. And I think even the whole crypto space, I've been saying this for a very long time. You need a board, a legal board that's going to think through all these things, try to predict how the bodies like the SEC and FinCEN operate, and try to mitigate those risks. And it's really hard to argue against Gary Gensler because, to do good business, you do want full disclosure. I think that's the honest thing to do. What that disclosure looks like, I think needs to be painted out better by the SEC. And I don't think they do a good job saying, hey, here's how you need to disclose these things. I don't know how that looks different from traditional investing to crypto investing. But again, the SEC needs to have full disclosure on what they expect from these people. But the fact of the matter is, these guys just don't want competition.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And they call them, we have the banking broad, and then we have Goldman Gary. And, I think there's maybe something to be said about those nicknames. And wait, just got word, Thomas Jefferson, this is from 23andMe, is actually George Jefferson's ancestor. I recommend Google Thomas Jefferson's illegitimate children. You might discover some things. All right, AJ, there's a lot of turmoil within the SEC. However, there's the SEC chair, of course, Gary Gensler. There's also an SEC commissioner. Her name is Hester Pierce, and she is publicly criticizing the agency, publicly criticizing Gary. In a statement, she's saying she disagrees with their action to shut down Kraken's on-chain staking. And she said, quote, "Staking services are not uniform, so one-off enforcement actions and cookie-cutter analysis does not cut it." Maybe a little pun there on purpose there. What is going to happen with this? I mean, if Gensler is booted, there's a lot of politicians gunning for him. Do you think that we will have this pro-crypto commissioner step up? And more importantly, will she stay pro-crypto if she takes the chair?
I mean, I would hope so. Like, out of everyone I've seen, she has totally been on the front line, like on the SEC website, revolting against what Gensler said, what he's doing. She's completely right. Not all staking is created equal. That is even some of why Charles Hoskinson has kind of spoke out against Ethereum about their staking model isn't the best in his opinion. And I hope that, Gary got to go. We have to know that this whole bit of regulation through enforcement is not fair at all. I know fair really doesn't matter and it's a relevant term, but I'm sure if Kraken knew they were breaking the rules when they introduced staking, God knows how long ago, they might have done this whole thing a little bit differently. This is just, at the end of the day, crypto and especially staking, threat to the legacy system. It's a threat to the bond market. It's a reason why people don't want to leave in banks or just do anything in traditional finance, because we actually get better returns in crypto. The Gary Gensler said he's trying to protect the people, protect the invested, whatever he said. He's full of it. Like he's the worst person. I absolutely hate him, and I can't even think sometimes because I just get really frustrated when I think about how backwards and delusional his thinking is.
Yeah, I mean, that's Gary for you there. All right, well, Cowboys of Crypto, can staking survive on these centralized exchanges, and how does that look like?
Okay, first we have to back up here, okay? When we first talk about staking, we have to talk about regulation. When I teach my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, how to play Chutes and Ladders, I teach her the rules, the goal of the game, and then we play the game. I don't say, let's play this game, and then if she tries to figure it out, I smack her on the face and say, you're doing it wrong. And then
you just escalate the face, not hand. Maybe a little respect on that.
Well, that's what I feel like. And so here we have to take a look at this board here that they've set before us. They are, deciding what the rules are. And while we're playing, they haven't been clear. And there is a motivation here why. And we'll get to staking in a second, but I'm going to take a little bit of a winding turn here. The Fed is the source of all regulation. Okay. When the Fed decided to take the money or take money off of the gold standard, they have detached our money from economic reality. Okay, they could unlimitedly supply and inflate the world because the world is reliant on the United States. It's the dollar reserve. It's the reserve currency of the world. And so when they do that, they have full control, full monopoly, consolidated power. Now, here's where we get to regulation. All regulation is from the Fed. It is the locus of power in which it pays off these different areas of government, of big pharma, of education regulation, and of monetary regulation, which is the SEC. Therefore, the SEC will not bite the hand that feeds it, which is the Fed. Okay, so now we get to staking. Okay, when we come to staking, they see staking and they see crypto, as Hotep said, competition. All regulation is a source from the Fed to prevent competition. It is not to protect from the people from like shady crypto companies or whatever. It's meant to protect itself, the monopoly, the cartel, from its competition. So when we come at it with like that mindset of regulation, we can now see why they're dragging their feet. We can now see why they're so shady and they're not clouded, and then they punish people like Kraken, or they, hit different, ADA staking pools or whatever. And when we're trying to do something innovative, when people and geniuses out there are trying to do something innovative with crypto and with new technologies, they're saying, whoa, we're not ready for this. They're scared. They're not scared for the people. They're scared for themselves. So as someone who's wants to participate in staking, as someone who like looks at crypto as an out from this cartel, from this monopoly, they want to keep us in check, in line, and that's the whole purpose of regulation. So yes, I think staking does have a future, but it must overcome this mindset that they have of protecting themselves. One day, it's all going to change, and the people will get frustrated enough, and they'll get scared enough, and they should be scared of the people, no longer being constrained by the regulatory, whatever rules they want to slap on at any given time, whenever their whims suit them.
Yeah, and if your whim suits you and you want to help affect this change, please hit that like button right now. And I just want to share today's episode brought to you by bcvault.com and presyn.io. All right, well, Piano Matty B, we're kind of getting to the meats and potatoes of what's going on, but a lot of people, they don't care about Gensler. They don't care about Hester Pierce. They just know Bitcoin fell, and, there's been a little bit of a dramatic price action. I'm looking at this is the one-day chart here, and you can see just within the last 30 minutes, 45, maybe hour and a half, dramatic price action to the downside. If we go to the 1 month or the 7-day, you can see huge, basically the Kraken tweet. Kraken being fined $30 million. Nice little leg down. Are there more legs down yet to come, Piano Matty B? Are we oversold and maybe it's going opposite direction? What are some of the levels you're looking at, and what's some of the short-term action looking like?
Well, let's take a look at the good old 4-hour chart here. You can see that we have broken out of our ascending channel down to 21.7-ish, which unfortunately, if we stay here and consolidate, we will carve out old Mr. Clean's left shoulder, which is a dreaded head and shoulders pattern. The price probability of these patterns is you take the neckline to the top, you slide the pole all the way down to the breakout point, and then we have 18.3-ish.
Woo.
Now, surely you can't be on the weekly already. Yes, we are, DZ. We've retraced all the way to 38.2, which is my favorite fib level. I don't know why. I'm not sure, but any more bearish action, we will hit the 50% fib. Down at about 20.4, I think. And if she's so darn tootin' DZ, we may retest resistance, which hopefully will be support down at 19.5, which is the 61.8% fib, the goldenest of golden ratios. And do you remember that 18.3 mark we talked about? That's a halop sheeting contest. Don't worry about that. The 20 moving average, you can see Georgie Gam Gam skateboarding down there at the end, meets 18.3. So there's some confluence at that 18.3 level. I hate to say it. I hate to bring it up. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just what the charts say, DZ.
All right, 18.3, maybe a little stop at 20,400. All right, so if maybe looking at some levels, I do respect the fibs, and I know a lot of other traders respect the fibs, and it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. It just kind of makes itself happen. But let's talk a little Cardano. Cardano is under attack, and Charles Hoskinson, he's not one to just sit idly by. He's going to get on the camera. He's going to transform himself into a cyborg if need be. He's going to do what it takes to fight this regulatory scrutiny, and he has shared a model that could align with the legal requirements. According to him, they can do contingent staking and, with pool operators, and you could choose whom to delegate to, then that would help you better comply with regulatory. So maybe we can't do this node, but, maybe help present a framework in which helps navigate people who do want to stake lawfully and, maybe even outside of America. You got to remember there's people who don't have to listen to Gary Gensler. But Cowboys, now I'm only going to you first because it looks like you maybe visit him on his Wyoming ranch regularly. I don't know if that happens or not, but if not, he should invite you. Maybe have a bison burger or something. But he's saying we're going to need a whole new way of staking moving forward with traditional models. Do you agree with him, or should we just maybe shrug off some of these SEC concerns?
Look, I'm with whoever wants to try to get innovation going. Back to my example of chutes and ladders. This is Charles' best guess at what would be acceptable. He's really trying to remove all levels of complaints, and he's just trying to be like, look, this is a higher standard to what normally is accepted. You need to be able to accept Cardano and this form of staking. Now, I'm not a genius, right? He's coming up with these things, and I'm like, yeah, whatever works. I don't know, but when we think about what the SEC is doing, we're like, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable? That's not for me. I'm not that smart to find out. But their mentality, the SEC's mentality, is that, hey, we're doing this to protect the investors. Well, tell me how they've protected investors when 70 plus Congress members have been found for insider trading. Tell me where the protection is for investors when the punishment fee for those congressmen and women is $200. Tell me how they're protecting investors when they waive most of those fees most of the time. They're not in it to protect their investors. Actually, they protect their investors like a pimp protects his property. They're taking the money while the property makes sure they stay obedient and continues to churn a profit. And you and I, if you missed it, we are the property. And so their intentions are not to protect us, but to protect us from freeing ourselves, to protect us from escaping their grasp, because there will become a day when we will break free. Okay, when we're fed up enough, it's not with education, it comes with pain, it comes with frustration, and that overwhelming emotion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm already there, and so are many others, and they are getting scared.
Cowboy, follow-up, is his pimp hand strong?
The feds is super strong. We got to make sure we bob and weave that junk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uncle Sam, he'll leave a mark. That's for sure. All right. Hotep Jesus, on this note, we do have Charles Hoskinson. He has spoken in front of Congress. He has explained DeFi. He has explained staking. In your opinion, do you think that they are looking for someone to help educate them, or are they purposely clogging their ears anytime Charles has something to say?
Oh man, it's like trying to teach your grandma how to use the iPhone. It's it's a very precarious situation because on one side of the thing, you're trying to teach, like I said, grandma how to use the iPhone, but on the other side, it's like, are they willing to learn? And what are their intentions behind learning? Are they learning to do what's fair, or are they learning so that they can destroy crypto? I think we have to take a look at who our allies are in Congress, and work on educating them first and foremost. Because at the end of the day, when behind closed doors, those are the people that are going to be really fighting the battles and having those discussions and meetings. So we have to do better with not only educating them, but also electing people that are going to be fair to the crypto industry as a whole. I think the other problem is the fact that we have to educate them. It shows gross negligence by them. They should already be aware of the things that they're trying to legislate against. For example, if I were to go into the court and they brought up some charges against me, what did they say that you can't negligence of the law or something like that? They're going to tell me, well, you should have known. You should have known better. You got to look up the laws yourself. And we could have the same attitude towards them when it comes to crypto. Like, you should know about this stuff. This stuff is ubiquitous. At least, for example, crypto.com. Crypto.com has an entire arena that they sponsor. So everybody knows about crypto. Everybody's at least heard about Bitcoin, although they might not have purchased any. But I think this just goes to show that these people in Congress just don't have any intention of learning.
All right. Well, I definitely agree with that. I think there is something to be said there when you're like, well, why would they have to learn? And to me, it's almost like so they could steel man the other side and know how to defeat it, kind of to your point. So hard to agree with me on that one. AJ, with all this staking narratives, cracking after DeFi's on its way down. SEC's knocking on your door if you've staked a single coin. Are you changing your portfolio at all? Is there any kind of moves, or is this maybe you're just, hey, you're seeing it as an opportunity to buy the dip? AJ?
Yeah, I haven't made any changes based off this news. I kind of have a pretty can you hear me?
Yeah.
I have a pretty consistent. Okay, cool. I haven't made any changes based off of this news. I have a pretty consistent DCA schedule. Like right now, I am doing staking like with liquid governance with Algorand, but other than that, I'm not like doing staking on like Kraken or anything or any of websites like that. I probably should have some of my ADA in a staking pool, but that's another conversation. But I haven't made any changes based off of this news. The way I see it, like the bear market, the bull market is going to come inevitably, and when that comes, I will have DCA'd every week for the however many years leading up to that. So I'm just kind of playing the long game with my accumulation bags. I have done some shorts over this week. I did a short yesterday and a couple today that did pretty good. So thank God for that. So I'm definitely trading with the trend of the market in my day trades, but for my accumulation bags, I'm just sticking to the plan.
All right, and Matty, I might ask you about Cardano real quick. Quick follow-up, AJ, though. Your Algorand, you said you're staking with the governance DAO. Is this self-custodial or using like a decentralized protocol to stake it?
So it's on Folks Finance, and basically the way so you switch your algo to G algo, and I actually did it with leverage, which is kind of cool that you could do that, and it increases your voting power on like for the governance votes in Algorand. And I didn't do like my whole portfolio or anything. I did like a couple $1,000 just to do it for the first. It's the first time I've done this for a governance period, and it's only a 3-month lockup, and I kind of feel like that's safe. So.
Wow, I didn't even. So I used to joke about the staking. The degens are going to come back when there's a comma in the APR and the APY. Oh, 10,000%. That's a bullish thing. You just told me they're introducing leverage with this. So now a degen with 20x leverage, 1,000% APY, it must go up, right? There will never be selling pressure. All right, Piano Matty B, what is it looking like for Cardano to you? Because I stake Cardano. I self-custody. I do it through the Nami wallet. I don't have to worry about Coinbase. I don't have to worry about Jesse Powell. I don't have to worry about Gary Gensler. Is this a bullish case narrative for Cardano? And I mean, are you bullish on Cardano in general?
Well, last night my little boy Duke tried to lock the front door, and because it's so cold here, he couldn't lock the door.
-16, correct? -16?
Yeah, at night it goes to about -22. But I said, Duke, my boy, don't let these small things upset you. And he said, well, don't things upset you, Dad? And I said, no, life is too short and I live in a world of abundance. But after seeing that video of Dirty Gary Gensler, I realized, wow, I really do hate him. I hate the way he looks. I hate his beady little eyes. I hate his squeaky little voice. And I feel like this whole time I've been watching, everyone talking, I'm in this like anger storm because I just loathe the fact that he exists. And I don't, there he is. Look at that. It's just a face that you just gotta hate. And as far as like ADA, I think Chucky Ho-Ho is the Rodney Dangerfield of the crypto markets. Like he just doesn't get any respect. No matter how hard he tries, people just don't give him that respect.
All right. No, it's to be a Canadian. Oh, to be Canadian. I like that. All right. Well, let's talk about Paxos. I want to share this tweet. This is from CoinDesk 1 hour ago. This is breaking news that PayPal is pausing work on its stablecoin. Comes on the day after crypto partner Paxos was reported to be under investigation. This kind of sums it up. PayPal pauses. Oh, great. They refresh on me. But PayPal essentially pausing any stablecoin work with the Paxos Foundation. Now, a lot of news here. This is the first. They're the issuer of BUSD. It's a dollar-pegged stablecoin after they partnered with Binance. So they have a history of partnering with large protocols and with large companies. And the NYDFS, that's the New York Department of Financial Services, they're the ones that have started the probe here. And then a spokesperson for the NYDFS, they refused to deliver specific comments regarding any ongoing investigation. So they're keeping the details close to the chest there. Now, Cowboys of Crypto, do you think that Paxos, are they going to walk away with just a fine, maybe a slap on the wrist, or are they going to take the XRP narrative and say, hey, we're taking this all the way to the court?
Yeah, I think they have enough backing to take it all the way to the court. I'm not sure what they'll do, but I'm hearing a lot of hate against Gary Gensler. Okay, let me just back us up for a second here, okay? Because Gary Gensler is the SEC and he's running after these guys like Paxos and Cardano. But here's the thing, okay? I was a child, and recently on YouTube, I started watching a lot of videos about Power Rangers. Now, in the Power Rangers, we have an enemy. Okay, her enemy is Rita Repulsa. Okay, she had the muscle. Her muscle was Goldar. Okay. Now, this is important to understand because the real enemy is not Goldar, it's Rita Repulsa. And that is what's happening here. The SEC is Goldar. Okay.
That's good.
And the Fed is Rita Repulsa. Now we are angry at the SEC and Gary Gensler, and rightfully so. No problem. You guys are getting all upset in your underwear and twisting around and throwing at them, and you guys hate them. Fine. But we have to understand that they are only the muscle of the Fed. The Fed has people on payroll. So you shouldn't be just mad at Gary Gensler, but people who run the regulation for big pharma, for big education. Education is federally funded. Pharma is federally funded. SEC is federally funded. Big media is federally funded. So when we are talking about these institutions establishing regulation, they're merely pushing what is the agenda for the Fed. And you might not understand how all these could come together, but for me, it's very simple. The Fed wants to protect its locus of power. It wants to oust all narratives. So they'll do that on every level. They'll do that on the education level. They'll do that on the monetary level. They'll do that with Paxos. Whoever is messing up and upsetting the apple cart here, they're going to send their muscle because they're all on the payroll. They're all getting paid off the Fed, and they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them. So in this case, we need to come up with crypto, and crypto is the Green Ranger. Some of the Dragon Zord and blast Goldar away.
Yeah, I got green on right now. Solidarity for Tommy right now. Fun fact, big fan, Well, Hotep Jesus, I love that analogy. Who is Rita to you? And, the Goldar, not to be confused with gold dust people, but who is Rita to you? Is it the Fed or, because that's a pretty big organization, hard to pinpoint it on any one individual. Is there anything, maybe more concise? Is there a puppeteer behind the Fed? Who's Hotep's Rita?
Oh man, is there a puppeteer behind the Fed? Well, we have to, as you know, I wrote the white paper, Patriot Report, Unmasking Conspiracy of Money and War, which is a recount of the historical record of central banking, essentially. So there was the biggest misstep I saw. I know a lot of people complain about the Fed, but the big thing I saw was the Bretton Woods Agreement, where basically they tied United States as the world reserve currency, and foreign countries like France were able to redeem their shitcoin in the form of gold. And their stuff pretty much wasn't backed by anything. Some people look back now and say, well, where's all the gold? Well, go look at the Bretton Woods Agreement as produced by Keynes. Now, when we talk about, who's really running the show, well, above the Fed, I would have to say is the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and they had a lot to do with the Bretton Woods Agreement and creating monetary policy for the globe. As far as Gary Gensler is concerned, I'm pretty sure that's Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. If I had to make a comparison. Lastly, I would say the thing with Paxos is crypto is a competitor, but Paxos is a competitor to the dollar. And we know that they want to bring out the CBDC, and the CBDC currently it does exist, USDC, but Paxos is a stable coin. And when you're a stable coin, you're basically competition for the dollar. So if there's anybody that the gangsters of central banking are going to go after, it's definitely going to be the stable coin. So that's a very dangerous business to be in if you're a stable coin. As the streets would say, you better get low. And if you're going to play that business, you're going to have to spend, and this is the unfair part, is because while you're trying to run a business, you're spending on marketing, operations, et cetera, it seems like now you got to spend a tremendous amount of money on legal. And if you're not spending that money on legal, then you're going to be susceptible. I mean, legal is basically your security now, right? If we're talking about the streets, I love watching Italian mob movies. I respect power. But your security today is legal. So, if you were dealing with the streets and the mob and you don't got your enforcers on the street to protect you when people try to come bomb your property, the equivalent today is the SEC coming in and investigate. And if you don't got your attorney standing at the door with the Constitution backing you, you're going to lose.
Yeah, it's not a good. It's not a good scenario. It's not. I've seen how that play finalizes in all the dystopian films, and not great exactly. All right, well, AJ, let's get it a little more pleasant here. Actually, not really. Now we do have. This is brought on by the New York Financial Services. Let me make sure I say it right. The NYFDS here. Is Gensler going to be usurped by states? It seems like all these states see, hey, Mr. Gensler, Mr. Burns, maybe he's the alien, maybe he's, sicking his Dobermans on you. But do you think that some of these state prosecutors, some of these state AGs, and some of these state financial watchdogs, are they going to start using what Gensler is doing as maybe a playbook? And should we be worried about California coming after us, maybe New York coming after us, Connecticut and states like that?
Well, until, some meaningful legislation is passed, like from Congress, the states might have to. Like they might kind of be forced into a position where they have to make their own rules for themselves. Like it's kind of like, I hate to use this example, but marijuana, for instance, like there wasn't like a rule, like even when like marijuana was federally illegal and a few states like California and Colorado would do their thing, the feds could still go to Colorado or California and like bring the house down on whoever they wanted to. So unless there's some sort of meaningful regulation from the top, it have to happen from the bottom up, which means the states are going to have to make their own rules. And I already know that the New York rules for crypto are like the worst. If you're in New York, don't be in crypto, because I know Frankie Candle is like, he had to jump through all these hoops, or because he has a New York ID, he can only buy like 3 coins off Coinbase or something like that. Like New York is like the absolute worst for crypto. And yeah, and I totally agree with a million things that Hotep Jesus said. I've never heard him before, but I'm definitely going to look into his stuff. That was good stuff for sure.
Yeah. Hotep is great. There's a reason, he has that audio clip in the beginning. Piano Matty B, I said at the top of the show, you're north of the border. I mean, what is the Canadian experience like? Are you looking at us like some sort of tragic soap opera with Italian mothers hitting everyone with the bread roller?
Yeah, but at the same time, we have Trudeau, and we just have like the same type of Muppet type of government up here. And I think what's going to happen is that in this illusion of democracy, you will vote with your money or you vote with your feet. So, in the game theory, once a country or some sort of part of the world opens up into crypto and everyone rushes in, think about the wealth, the brain power, the technological power, like the amount of talent that would rush into that country just because they're friendly to crypto. And other countries will see that and they'll want a piece of it. And then it'll just be game theory on until everyone's just open up. But until then, we're kind of looking at the death gasps of a dying, bloated system going.
Yeah, and to that effect, I highly recommend The Network State by Balaji. He kind of goes over a lot of those and how, with our society, technology has enabled us to start new companies, communities, and currencies, but can we use it to start cities or even countries? And, maybe some further reading for the viewers at home. I highly recommend that book. But I think that is all we have time for. Hotep narrowly squeaked by I was going to use one of Cowboys' analogies, narrowly squeaked by Cowboys of Crypto there. Cowboys of Crypto always bringing the heat. AJ, Piano Matty B, that was about the most phenomenal TA I've ever seen on the show. Fully, highly recommend everybody check out everyone's channel. Links are in the description right below. Just go there right now. You got about 5 seconds. We'll go ahead and pause the show for you. Follow everybody's stuff. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you're subscribed. Check out BC Vault and Presin.io. But Hotep Jesus, you ended up taking it home. Feel free. Leave us with some parting thoughts. The show is yours.
I am the creator of the productivity pill for players, not NPCs. And that is Master Focus, a 100% herbal nootropic. You can get that at trymasterfocus.com. Use coupon code 10OFF to take $10 off of your order. I created this thing because I'm a chess player and chess requires a tremendous amount of brain power. Plus, I run 4 or 5 different corporations. and a lot of my day requires a lot of brain power. So if you guys need to focus in, lock in, need quick recall and flow, go to trymasterfocus.com, use the coupon code 10OFF.
All right, true story. I was actually in the chess club in middle school, Hotep. I'm gonna have to, we'll have to DM you. I need to get my hands on some of these. I'm gonna try it myself. All right, that is all we have time for today, Bit Squad. Make sure again, check out everyone's links. Until next time, be easy. DZ out.